The higher the urgency, the stronger the motivation, the higher the frequency of follow-up. The closer they are getting to making a decision, the more important it is for you to stay on top of their mind. That's number one. Number two, you're never the only one they're talking to. They're probably seriously not considering more than 2 or 3 other agents, but there are always at least 2 or 3 other agents. So through good follow-up, through good frequency and good messages, you want to stay on top of the mind. Many agents don't have a lead generation problem, they have a follow-up problem. And they don't really have a follow-up problem, they have a relationship problem. There is no relationship between the prospect and the agent. So you work on that. And it helps to send them a postcard or a market update, thank you note, a text, video, all that helps. That is all part of that, especially if you can communicate on multiple channels. Because as you already know, your brand is 2 parts, your name and your face. That's your brand. That's how people recognize you, by your face and by your name, and then by voice to an extent on the phone. So you want to nurture that, you want to repeat that, reinforce that continuously. Okay. For as long as it takes. Okay? Yep. So my suggestion would be divide your day between getting leads, like expired listings, FISBOs, Sphere, open house if it's applicable, if you can do it, or anything else, and then following up with the leads you already have in your contact management system. It's just as important. Because there's no point of generating leads if you can't convert them into appointments. So you lock in on calendar lead generation, and you lock in on calendar your follow-up. And you need to decide how much time does it take, because follow-up is really 2 activities. That's the administrative activity that can be delegated, and it should be. Do you have an assistant, Patrick?
No, I'm pretty new, so I don't have a lot of, I just have 1 listing currently. So yeah, I don't have any, but I plan on.
My suggestion would be break up your follow-up between admin. That would be things like sending emails, sending postcards. It's the indirect communication. Mm-hmm. And the actual communication, sending texts, calling, visiting, video chats, whatever you include in your communication. Separate those 2. Put it on your calendar, just do it daily. Make it a habit. If you have 5 leads, those 5 leads need to know who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you. And that they can trust you, that you're good, that you're competent. Because being new doesn't mean you can't get business. You already get listings, so somebody trusted you enough. And if 1 person did, there are more. All right, so lead generation, important. Prospecting, just as important. Because it's the follow-up that will get you the appointments. Majority of your prospecting will not result in appointments. So lead gen, follow-up, lead gen, follow-up, lead gen, follow-up. A daily routine.
During the, the actual communication during the follow-up process, how would you, I guess, how would you go about creating and nurturing that relationship?
Excellent question. So let's say you are, what leads do you have? Who do you prospect?
Expireds.
Expired, perfect. So you're an expired listing and you're in my contact management system. We've been in touch. And now I got the prompt to call you back. Mm-hmm. Okay. So as a general rule for follow-up, things you want to stay away from is what everybody else is doing. Because the moment you sound like everybody else, you're going to be treated like everybody else.
Right.
Which is someone we want to get rid of. So first they will take your calls, then they won't take your call because you're just another agent to them. So we're going to stay away from phrases like, how are you today? Just wanted to see if you're ready to list. Just wanted to check in with you. Those are horrible, horrible phrases.
I use check in with you too.
Sorry?
I said I used to check in with you too. So I got to stop that.
Just stop that. You don't want to check in. No, they don't want to be checked in on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody wants that. And you don't care how they're doing either. It's just an empty phrase that salespeople use, unless you really care. But that's a different way. That's a different thing. Okay? If I really care, I would ask Patrick, how's your day? Everything good? You guys are good through this COVID craziness? As opposed to, how are you today, Patrick? Before I sell you this beautiful used Buick. Be authentic in your communication. Don't waste their time. Follow-up doesn't need to be a 3-hour conversation. Occasionally, you will hit people who need time to nurture and open up to you. And that's okay. Be flexible. But as a general rule, move through it. So here's an example. You're my expired listing. I would call you back. Patrick, hey, Borino with ABC Real Estate. I wanted to let you know that property we talked about on Oak Street. Do you remember that big house, the 2-story house?
Yeah. Yeah.
It went on the contract.
Okay.
Now, what do you think would in most cases seller ask or the prospect ask?
How much did
How
it
much?
sell? Yeah.
Now, that's important for you to know, obviously, because you're establishing authority.
Right.
Remember, you need to establish. So I would say it was listed for 440 and it sold over asking. It was on the market for 7 days. So I give something of value. That's a general rule of follow-up. Always offer something interesting. It doesn't need to be earth-shattering. You're not there to educate them on real estate one-on-one. They're not taking a license. They're not getting their license. But something, a little bit, something interesting. Something that's either helpful, a novelty, entertaining, or something that benefits them, that speaks to them, about them. So it could be a new sale, it could be a new listing, it could be interest rates. So depending on where they want to go, I would stay away from long discussions about listing the house. It's not sexy, it's not interesting, it's actually tedious. To most people, that means boxes, painting, repairing stuff, people wandering through their house. There's not much joy in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Focus on stuff that resonates with them, that matters to them. Whether it's having a bigger house, smaller house, better schools, I would talk about that. And if it's out of the area, I would explore it. Hey, you guys, last time we talked, you said you wanted to go to Tampa. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, that's still the plan.
That's still the plan. Have you found the house there yet?
We've been looking. We have a few options that are kind of on the table that we've been checking out. So yeah, we actually do have a few that we're
awesome,
looking at.
perfect. The reason I'm asking is if you'd like, I can connect you with an agent who can provide you with properties. Sometimes that helps because they know about homes before they hit the market. So you may have like first dibs. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Now I'm offering something of value.
Right. Okay.
I mean, something that will benefit them. So I would get on the phone and say, hey, John, I got this great seller. They're thinking about selling here in my area. They're thinking about moving to Tampa. I want you to connect with them. And you pay me a referral fee if this thing works out. Here's the background on the sellers. Their house is on the market. It's an expired listing. I'm working with them. I'm trying to get the listing. Can you help them? Just another example. There are many other things you can offer. You can talk about improvements. You can talk about what's going on. Should the property be staged? Whatever is interesting to the seller. But as a general rule, short, simple. Here's one of the questions I would ask. Patrick, you guys want to get that house in Tampa. What's holding you back?
I guess, we kind of got burned the last time with the last stage. So, we're just kind of taking it easy this time around, just to make sure that, we make the right decision.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So now if, let's say, a buyer walks in tomorrow, they fall in love with the house. They offer you something good, a good price, something you guys would be happy with that would make the move to Tampa possible. Would you consider it?
Sure. Yep. Definitely.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do this. Before I can recommend your property, obviously, I need to see it first. I have a pool of buyers who are looking right now. Let me swing by tomorrow just for 10 minutes. Can you give me a quick tour so I have an idea what you have?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, perfect. Let me swing by. 4:45 works? 4:45?
Yep. 4:45 is perfect.
Perfect. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Looking forward to it. I want to escalate if I can. Because now I know there's desire. Now I know what the barrier is. Now I know that I need to build a lot of trust and credibility so I can focus on that. And that's way easier to do in person than over the phone. I'll take the phone, but if I have the chance to meet them for 10 minutes in person, I would do that. So let's say we meet. You show me the house. I would say something like, you guys have a great house. I think finding the right buyer for it is not going to be difficult, especially in this market. And you will walk away with more cash than your previous price. Homes have appreciated quite a bit. Would you be curious to know how much cash you can put in your pocket? Would that be helpful? Would it make it easy for you guys to make a decision?
Yeah, we do have to know how much we're going to have in our pocket because,
Okay, well, let's do this. Why don't we get together for 20, 30 minutes, grab a cup of coffee, and I'll show you where we are. So this way you know where you are. And I'm not there to pressure you or make decisions for you, but you will sleep better at least knowing where you guys stand. So Tuesday, okay? Is Tuesday good for you guys?
Yeah, Tuesday works.
Tuesday works. Boom. Set up an appointment.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if they keep stalling, they may be stalling for only one of two reasons. It's either you or the move. That's the only two reasons. Either the moving, they have doubts about the move, they have some kind of fear, or they don't trust you.